power of the quiet ones. Do you often prefer staying at home watching movies instead of going to a party? Do you prefer a one-on-one conversation rather than being in a group of people? Do you rest your body and mind by spending time alone instead of chatting with friends? When traveling, do you like to plan ahead? In a group of strangers, are you usually the quietest person? If you answered yes to most of these questions, you are among the 30 to 50% of the world's population described as introverted. If you answered no, know that some of your coworkers, children, or siblings may be introverts, and this text is intended to talk about them. First, we need to understand what introversion is, and it is different from being shy. Shyness is basically the fear of social judgment. Introversion, on the other hand, is more about which environment makes you feel better, which in this case is a calmer and quieter one. Not all the time, of course, but for a large part of it. So, the key to maximizing our talents is to put ourselves in the right environment and with the right stimuli for each of us. In reality, there is no pure introvert or pure extrovert. We are generally somewhere in between, but the vast majority of us can place ourselves in one category or the other. Knowing all this is especially important when it comes to creativity and productivity. Psychologists have discovered that there are two main ingredients for creativity: the ability to exchange ideas and also solitude, which is an introspective trait. Charles Darwin, the father of the theory of evolution, spent much of his time alone studying, and he had the habit of walking alone in the woods and declined almost all invitations to parties. Steve Wozniak invented the first Apple computer sitting alone in his office at HP. And he said he would never have become an expert if he hadn't been introverted enough to stay home when he was a child. This certainly does not mean we should stop working with others. Steve Wozniak became world famous when he teamed up with Steve Jobs to start Apple. But we should stop blaming introverts for their reserved nature and stop glorifying the opposite. So, for those who share this view, there are three major actions to take. Number 1. Stop the madness of constant group work. It's obvious that we need to communicate and exchange ideas, but we need more privacy and more freedom and much more autonomy both at work and in schools. Number 2. Spend some time alone. Reflecting on life is incredibly important, but it seems like we're losing that. It's even become a punishment for disobedient children. Arnold Schwarzenegger was once asked what his secret to success was, and the first thing that came to his mind was, "We need to stop and think deeply about who we want to be." He said the first step we should take is an introspective one. Number 3. Show your best. Many times we spend too much time trying to make people like us, knowing more about others than we know about ourselves, and in the end, we forget what our own strengths are. Whether you're an extrovert or introvert, always show your best. Don't hold back. The world needs it.